We have a very special guest with us. We got Sam.
Sam Gutter.
Sam Gutter. Thank you.
Very special. I don't know. I think yes.
Welcome.
It's just so funny, like trying to tell a story in like the vaguest terms possible while still being descriptive, you know?
Yeah.
You're a camera. You're a detailed person.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Grips are just like, oh, we're just in and out. Just like they do with their.
But also, it's like I feel
Hello.
like the context clues of the story would help so much if I was just like this guy and like that guy, but I don't want to.
Well, was the camera okay? Did it like get dust
it was
in it?
like
or?
it became fine basically because like it kind of became like apparent that like I didn't need to be giving as much of a shit as I did. I was just sort of like trying to do a good job because like that's what I try to do, you know, and like but then it became like after like 4 or 5 hours of this shoot, it was just sort of like, all right, like no one's really like people care a lot, people are on top, like whatever, but like it became like a thing like, okay, the DSLR that's in the director's hands, like I have mentioned several times about like the dust and whatever, and I'm like, hey, can I get in there and like clean it for you? And he's like, oh, I don't care.
Oh.
And it's like after a few times of that, it's like, all right, well, I'll worry about other things, like making sure like video and sound are synced on like the cameras that we actually have labeled and are shooting, and like the download's going well, like all of our gear is like concise and where it needs to be, and like lenses are safe and all that kind of stuff. Like I'm just worrying about like the basic things. And then at one point, you know, we were shooting in the desert and like the sun was down, like wind was picking up for sure. We had like what was like M80s or something shooting through this diff, and like or like the big like 12 by silk.
Yeah, we had the sun.
I don't know if it was like 40 miles. I feel like 40 miles that thing would have sailed away. But
It did.
It was fucking.
It fell. I remember this. I distinctly remember both of them fell. Not on the car. We had bodies on them. This is safety people.
Did you have sandbags? What was going on?
Well,
sandbags don't even
matter.
No, you
When
gotta tie that shit down with like you gotta rig it for real.
Or
like a
don't.
nail in the hole in the ground and everything. And
For the grippers out there, and this is a true story, there's a certain miles per hour wind that you do not fly certain size rags, like frames in the air. We far exceeded that miles per hour. Charles tried to express. Charles was the key grip on this one. Tried to express in very detailed terms on the location scout that is not possible. Production nor
they ignored you.
They ignored me, and
Of course.
the repercussions happened. Just like the story I shared with Mr. John about the van taking out the roof of that
we were just
apartment.
talking about that.
Yeah, like once again how Charles tried to save the day. I did our best.
Until that maybe came around.
Until that, you know, we just want to not listen.
Yeah.
That maybe came around. We're not always right. It's just, guys, fight for your safety no matter what your position
please.
is. And if something bad happens, it's not on you.
You can die.
Yeah.
This is
You can die for real. And if you die on set, you die in real life. It's not.
It's not
like
the
a
Matrix.
joke.
Yeah, it is that. Well, it is. Yeah. But also,
like
also,
if you
like,
if a fucking combo stand that's like all rigged up, like twists and does weird shit, just collapses all
Heck
over
no.
you, like you're gonna get seriously hurt.
yeah,
man.
yeah, dude.
We have that 12 by silk up in the out in the back in this like cowboy town, and it's absolutely just like kind of going shittily. I remember whoever the I don't know what he would be, but basically he was a grip. But I remember him just like hanging on for dear life on this combo stand. Dude.
He was standing on him.
Well, yeah, you gotta basically like for the whole time we were in that setup, which was like maybe like an hour. I don't know. This dude was in two positions. He was like either like literally standing on the combo stand, just hugging it, just being right there with like, you know what I mean, just freezing and like just being like, this is where I fucking live, or he was like down on the ground, just like with one hand on like the fucking rigging, just like ready to like run over and just grab it. But
grippers, yo.
Yeah.
At one point though, like things started getting pretty hectic out there. Like it was one of the times when like all the people who like the people who are higher up in the production who are kind of going like, oh, I don't care, whatever, we could do whatever, are now starting to be like, oh shit, like we need to do this, we need to do that. We had set up like a dolly also. We had done like we had done like a horseshoe track thing with like a dolly. So we got like we went from like basically just like trying to like just scam a location with a whole bunch of DSLRs to like suddenly having like a full-on production
God.
in the backs. And simultaneously while this is happening, the bar, our agreement with them, I guess, was that we were going to shoot like during
Off
the interior
hours.
stuff like during the day when they were
Yeah.
off, and then we had exterior stuff that we were going to shoot, I guess, while they were fucking open as a bar. So like while this is happening in the back, which is admittedly a pretty big area, there are like patrons like drinking and like
Patrons.
like not like being very interested in what we're doing, and like, you know, there's a lot of them, and
Yeah.
Can we
like,
be extras the
Yeah.
last in dealing with bystanders?
and we're in the middle of the desert. Like, this is not like a normal situation for these people. So like people are kind of like, what the fuck is going on at like our bar that I drink
Yeah.
at every day, you know?
Yeah.
And like they had like a fucking barbecue going on in the back. Like it went from like a weird location to like a party that we were shooting in the middle of. And
Oh God.
It's supposed to be the scene was nobody. It's a deserted bar.
Oh seriously? That was a film. I was like, you guys are fucked.
it was like something
Yeah.
about, I forget
We'll
the
just
plot.
key
It
everyone
was like
out.
something about
Yeah,
like
barbecue.
meeting like a drug kink. I remember as soon as I walk in, the first thing I saw was like a pool table just covered in like prop guns and like drugs and like bulletproof vests and shit. And,
So
yeah.
normal stuff you see in a bar
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
But
in Lancaster.
so it was like, so it was starting to get pretty hectic, and then like it was like, oh shit, like I need this guy, you know what I mean? Like whatever, like
Yeah.
I need this guy to just like literally just be here and be a fucking C-stand or something. Like hold this fucking thing while I like go run and grab another thing. Get me a fucking battery, please. Something, you know what I mean? Just like regular shit.
Yeah.
And in between shots, while they're like talking about stuff, like I go off and I look for him, and I can't find him for a minute, and then like finally I fucking see him, and he's like leaning over the bar, like grabbing the bartender's like shoulder, like basically like literally physically grabbing at her, and then like doing this like, you know, pointing at you and me back and forth, like hand motion, trying to order drinks while he's got a drink in his hand. Like he's literally, I see him just literally being like a rowdy, shitty customer at a bar, and
Wow.
and it's just like, yo, what the fuck? So for those of you who might be shocked by, or might be like a little surprised by like my tone here, this is considered unprofessional behavior.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you shouldn't be drinking while you're working.
You should not be drinking while you're working. You shouldn't be drinking on a set. You shouldn't be like buying drinks from the. You shouldn't be doing that. That's
Yeah.
just obvious.
Period.
Yeah,
Period.
it's dumb.
Period.
So I like kind of go over to him and like I like tap him on his shoulder. I'm like, hey dude, like hey. Dude's
you
name.
doing?
He
Yeah.
doesn't hear me, and like, or before I tap him, I'm like, hey, dude's name. He doesn't hear me, and like I tap him on his shoulder, and he sees me and kind of like turns back around and like
What?
keeps doing what he's doing because he's like trying to get the bartender's attention, and she's like clearly not trying to listen to him and like moving away from him.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, I just sort of like, kind of put my hand on his shoulder and turn him around, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, we're working right now. And he just starts yelling at me, like just like puts his finger in my face. He's like, "You don't tell me what to do. You're
What?
not my boss. I am not your AC." Blah 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 blah. Just giving me all this
The
shit,
hell?
and I'm just like, "All right, dude. Like, fuck you."
This is day one still. By the way.
This is day one. I'm
Yeah.
just like,
it's going real well.
Yeah.
so I go
Nice.
outside. Like, I go outside, and like everyone's like kind of stressed out, and then like about like the shot, you know what I mean? And I like kind of just like walk straight up to the producer, and I'm just like the main guy, and I'm like, yo, dude, this dude fucking sucks. Dude is like the brother or like the cousin or whatever of like
The director?
the director, yeah. And he's like, apparently like the director, like everyone, like there's some weird cast and crew like relationships going on, like, you know, everyone's tight, and like yeah, this guy is like doesn't know anything about film.
Oh no.
And was basically
Oh, no.
just like looking for, or like not even looking for a job to do, but just like didn't have anything to do while everyone else was like working on set. So they were just like, oh, we'll just make you an AC.
Oh jeez.
Out of all the positions
Yeah, out
to
of
throw
all-
away,
Yeah.
Yes.
not a PA.
Yeah.
They like went down the list. Dook, dook, dook.
Of course, come to find out, he
Oh
like
my
doesn't
God.
literally like doesn't know anything. And,
It
like,
happens.
Yeah.
Don't hire inexperienced people, and you're going to be paying out the butt for that when you could have just paid a little bit of extra money
Yeah.
to get the right person for the job.
Yep.
we must have trashed the 5D that day.
Really?
I mean, it's just like I don't know, like
One
we
of
kept
'em.
using them, but
That's like half an AC day.
And if you want to be a guest on the show, what kind of stories they want to hear at podcastsetstories@gmail.com. If you guys want to check that out,
Cool.
bother us.
well,
your
yeah,
stuff.
this is super fun.
Thank
I
you
love
so
it.
much,
you guys,
man.
If you
Yeah.
guys
You're
ever want me to
amazing.
come back, I'm very happy
sure.
to.
Yeah,
And-
everyone wants to come back.
I mean, I
after-
hope
bring-
nothing bad will happen on set, but I hope so you can come back and tell us
Yeah.
about it.
You look like familiar outside of this room.
Usually I have a beard, but today I shaved that off.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is
He wanted
so
to
this
look
happens
younger,
all the
too.
time for those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every set you go,
Yeah.
because everyone's freelance, so you're
Yeah.
I
like
know.
you run into people and like you see their face and like I know
Have I?
those
Where?
eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That shit
for
happens.
sure.
This one funny guy shared. This is not my story, but he shared one story where he's like, good to see you again. And my friend's like, bro, I don't know you. I just moved out here. And he's like, no, man, I worked you on something. And like
Yeah.
all day he was passing him. He's like, it was that show we worked on. It was that show we worked on. And he's like, no, man, like I don't know you. And then like the day was almost over, and then he was like, hey man, I know you from that show. And like our friend's like, look, I do not know you. I just got here from film school. I
Jeez.
can't tell you enough. And the guy goes up to him. And he's like, listen, you need to stop lying to people.
Oh, man.
He's like, as if he knew him
Yeah.
for so long. He's like, I know you. I know you lie to people.